Okay, welcome back to Raceroom Part 2. The search for more FPS in Raceroom. With my computers being weird options, settings, blah 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 blah. I just tried this off stream and I've got
Sage
some
Cedar
settings.
Says H. Sage Cedar says
Don't
E.
be that guy.
JDMAX the Game Cat says the search continues. Sage Cedar says L. Sage Cedar.
Don't be
says
that guy.
L. Sage Cedar says O.
If that's the end, that's okay. Right, so off stream I got settings where it's mostly 90 with a couple of things there. Let's see if it still plays ball and gives me 90 or if
Sage Cedar
it tanks.
Don't be that guy. Sage Cedar says gotta love it.
Oh dear. Right, so let's see. Dun. Right, let's see if my FPS is gonna tank it or if it's gonna stay afloat. If it tanks out to mostly 45 rather than being mostly 90, then we know that something is not great about whatever's going on stream-wise. And that my computer is not liking, would then not be liking OBS or NVIDIA settings there and stuff like that, but we shall see. Though I think the stream quality should probably, you know...
The Game Cat says crossed fingers.
Yeah, the graphical quality of the stream may suffer a bit as well, though, because it was pretty high settings.
Says Jeremy Corbyn refuses to go to D-Day memorials simply because of the presence of Donald Trump.
Yeah, I would kind of also be rather dismayed at being around Donald Trump. But hey, I don't think it's
my faith in humanity has not been restored.
Yeah, Donald Trump is not going to restore anybody's faith in humanity. Nor is Jeremy Corbyn. Though there are some things I do agree with him on and others that I don't. And there are going to be cross issues with everybody. But that's politics. We don't want to get into it because it's depressing stuff. Right, so frame rate rise, we're down to 45 again. Or worse. Really bad.
Jeremy Corbyn has left the chat.
That's good. We appreciate Jeremy Corbyn leaving the chat. So yeah, the frame rate is now back up to 90, but there is more stuttering now than there was before. It's got real bad. It's really hella bad.
The Game Cat says that's weird looks here. Sage Cedar says every day I see the news and my PTSD goes up 99%.
Yeah, I bet it does. I just think that it's all a rolling comedy at this point. Unfortunately, it's a comedy where, unless you are fortunate, it's not that funny.
Looks good on the stream.
Yeah, it doesn't look good in the headset though. It's tanking bad.
Sage Cedar says, Vietnam is nothing if you walk into Parliament on a Monday.
Yeah, it's
JDMAX the Game Cat says, gotta be OBS. Do you have frame drops on OBS?
no frame drops on OBS. You got to remember, like at the moment though, my CPU is now maxing at 100, and my graphics card is all the way down in 63%, 60%. So instead of my CPU being at 60% and my GPU
Sage
being
Cedar
at
says,
65,
sorry, by the
70%.
way.
Yeah, it's bleh.
JDMAX the Game Cat says, how is your CPU at 100?
Yep, it's going between 95 to 100.
JDMAX the Game Cat says, what could you be running?
Honestly, with the NVAC encoder, with the NVIDIA's encoder, my CPU would be down at 60 odd. And do remember that there's no hyper-threading, so the CPU load percentage will always look higher on a non-hyper-threaded CPU than a hyper-threaded CPU, because I've only got 8 distinct cores. So encoding video when you've only got distinct cores rather than hyper-threading gives you a huge disadvantage. My previous processor was built on hyper-threading, but a lot of games, particularly Sims, older Sims, flying Sims and things like that, are not built for hyper-threading or not built for multi-CPU stuff, whereas streaming video does much better from hyper-threading because of the multitasking ability. Which is why the newer encoders of the NVIDIA encoders were working a lot more efficiently in OBS. So my CPU being at 98, 90, and 100, rather than doddering around about 65%, and the GPU being down in 60 odd percent now, rather than being at like 75 to 80% when it's encoding the full video. And the performance on the VR side is worse, is a result on that side. So, yeah, definitely, if you have an RTX, using the NVIDIA encoder for me is working wonders on that side. So yeah, definitely switch that back.
JDMAX the Game Cat says, how was it off stream?
Off stream, I was CPU around about 65-75%, and GPU about 70-80%, I think, and the frame rate was stable around 90. Only had mid drops every now and again. This place that I'm looking at here, just looking there, with nothing going on, the frame rate is 45, going between 45 and sometimes 50. With a performance headroom like heading way back down there, it's like, that's just not good. You know, you look at, say, if I look at
JDMAX the Game Cat says, do you have other stuff running in the background? That's crazy 60% usage beforehand.
Yeah, of course I have other stuff running in the background. Got a huge amount of stuff running in the background. Because you've got a TalkBot, you've got streaming stuff, you've got multi-stream audio coming through. But basically, the essence of it is that when I have the other encoder, it's all well low and still has frame issues. So when all of these percentages are low and still having frame issues, there is something else going on. If I sort this by CPU usage, yeah, my highest CPU usage
JDMAX
is OBS.
Says, oh yes, def agree.
Yeah. The highest thing being used on my system at the moment is OBS, which is like taking up 40% of my CPU, between 35 and 40% of my CPU time is dedicated to OBS. Raceroom itself, the game, is only taking up 12% of the CPU, and then Oculus is taking up like 15%. And then everything else is like 2s and 1%. Google Chrome is like 1%. The other major thing that I'd have is Voice Mute Banana, and that's like 1%. And then VR services for Steam is like 1.52% max. So over 30% is all OBS now. So there is something else here that is, you know, really racking stuff up and killing it. And I don't know what it is that's killing it. But I can switch back to the other encoder. I don't know. Can I actually do this midstream? I'm going to test this. This may crash out. So apologies to people if the stream suddenly stops and stuff like that.
JDMAX the Game Cat says, agreed. Sorry you're having issues.
Yeah, it's a bit annoying. So encoder wise, no, I can't change that. Let's just I'm gonna kind of pause the stream and come back quickly. Or, well, stop it and come back again quickly. Just okay. Right, there we go. Back in. Hello again. So we're back in here, and I've changed back to using OBS with the NVIDIA new encoder, and instead of OBS taking up that 35-40 odd percent, OBS is now taking up 10%. And instead of my graphics card being what was it before? The graphics card looking out here before was like, what, 50, 54, 55? It's now about 58%. So, yeah, NVIDIA's codec thing there, in those terms, is right on track. It's working. I kind of want to try something out, but I'm a bit scared of what it may do. We're going to try something that is a little experimental and comes from a tip the Weaver was saying about. I don't know if this is going to work or if it's going to absolutely tank out. MSI, where are you going to MSI? MSI Afterburner. So here we go. There's MSI Afterburner. And all I'm going to do is press the reset button on MSI Afterburner to reset to defaults a few times. And apparently sometimes this stabilizes stuff out, apparently at different points, or has done. Base, boost. Graphics card is at full boost. That much I know. So that's cool. Graphics card should definitely be totally don't know. Have not got a clue why it's happening like that. So anybody who gets some really good major clues, I'm running like an i7 9700K 32 gigabytes of DDR4 at 3200 megahertz, and I've got an RTX 2080 Ti Founders Edition that is running at a full boost clock of 1800 and sorry, the base is what you call it, 1890, I think. Yeah, no, it's 1890 megahertz on the boost clock. So it's running at that boost level at the moment. And I've still got issues with the CPU being low. I don't get it. I'm just going to load into something there quickly. I'm going to as well take away the frame overlay because that's going to be hard in racing. Actually, no, we'll keep it there. Quick. No, I want it there. Raceroom. Okay, let's do this on this track with some cars. And basically my frame rate will probably just stay the same at this base level of 45 for the most part. Which is really annoying. Single event. We're going to this other track. I haven't played on this with other cars on the track, so there it is. Doing the GT, we're going to have 15 opponents on track. I'm starting in 8th. Afternoon, tyre wear, blah blah blah. Go race. We'll just do this as a last thing. So yeah, interesting that there are other issues going on. I would really love to get to the bottom of these issues in terms of settings. Okay. Again, like I say, with cars on the track, without cars on the track, every single setting I'm going through here, most of the time it's ending up at 45. Or below, sometimes, which is crazy. And that's with like the GPU and the CPU. CPU is like 60%. GPU is like 63%. It's crazy. Bad start, bad start. Yeah, 45 FPS basically. It's a bit annoying why this is happening. I wish I knew. Oh. That was a bit ragged. That was not the best line. I shouldn't have followed that car in front in that line. Ow! That was painful. Okay, so yeah, the mystery of the frame rate is unsolved. The mystery of the frame rate, quality, and so on and so forth is very much unsolved. Answers on a postcard, please. If well, not on a postcard. Any ideas and comments would be welcomed. If somebody has some big, wonderful tip that will help in this situation, because it's really, really, really kind of, well, frankly speaking, very annoying. And I don't know what to do about it. So, anybody who's got a pointer on there to point us in the right direction of what could be happening, I would be very, very pleased to hear about it. Okay, right. We're going to sign off there for today because it's late and we have a race to race tomorrow and things to do through the rest of the day as well. So we should get to the point of getting all of those things lined up and ready to do. I don't need to see performance. None. There we go. Oh, that's better. I can see performance. Right. So yes, again, that's a lot of experiment going on. A lot of different things happening, but basically, don't know. I'm okay with playing at 45 FPS. I can deal with that. But it would be nice to be able to actually get this optimized right so that I can play at 90 FPS with that locked down while streaming. That would be really, 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 really fantastic for my experience and kind of like the whole thing on the stream. I know it still looks good on the stream, like I say, so I can still play it that way. But it is a little bit off-putting, and it is a bit annoying. Is what it is. But hey, guys out there, subscribe button, like that way, and there'll be another video up there. Not the one that I'm going to delete because we had a really short one, which I might delete that. And then there's going to be a video like up that way. And, well, catch you on the flip flop. Bye.